It is time again here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides to walk around and take a look at a gigantic cruise ship. I'm talking about the Royal Caribbean Independence of the Seas, and there's something I'm realizing now that I've done, let me see, like 10, maybe 12 Royal Caribbean cruises and 3 within the last 12 months. The more ships that are being built from Royal Caribbean and the more of their older ships that they are quote unquote amplifying, the more that they all kind of start to look the same, which has advantages and disadvantages. And I think most of you out there who land here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides have been on one, so we're just gonna kind of take a quick look around and I will try to keep you entertained in the meantime. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. I've been making YouTube travel videos for over 15 years of popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there. And I also wrote a book of travel stories about things that have really happened to me around the world, including having to get stitches on a cruise ship. That's the name of the book. It's available on Amazon now. Here we are at the top deck of the ship. At the very front, I'm standing behind this pane of glass, so it will block the wind and it's easier for me to talk to you. This is where the mini golf course is, and mini golf is included in the price of the cruise. You just need to grab a club and a ball and away you go. This is something I'm just realizing my sister and I agreed we were gonna compete against each other on the very first day, and we haven't done it yet, so we better get to it. I know I was just saying that all Royal Caribbean ships are starting to kind of look the same in many areas, but there is something up here that I don't think I've ever seen on any other Royal Caribbean ship or any ship, and that is these round, shower arches. If you press a button in there, the water comes out of there. It's just basically a shower with a very interesting design. Or is it a secret portal to another world? Step inside and find out right here on the Independence of the Seas. Just a little ways back from there is the adults only pool area. And this has at times been quite a relaxing, quiet atmosphere. But I have to say today, it's seeming kind of loud in here. There's a lot of people who seem to be enjoying the last day of their cruise with an alcoholic beverage. So today is probably not the day to relax in here. One interesting feature are these hot tubs that are sort of like in a dome on the side of the ship. It almost looks like a fish tank. Moving towards the back of the ship, we come to the main pool area, which, like I said, looks very similar to many other Royal Caribbean ships of this generation or newer. There are ways you could crop this photo and you wouldn't be able to tell which ship this is. It's giving some beach club vibes, there is music playing, and there is a ton of water. If you compare this to the newer ships from Norwegian Cruise Line, this is like 400% more pool. If you're cruising someplace warm and want a lot of time in the sun and at the pool, the Independence is definitely a good pick. Just behind that is the children's splash area, which was part of the amplification. They added new things here that weren't originally on the ship, and this area just looks like so much fun, but as an adult male with no kids, I never get to go there. Can't they make certain hours where it's just for grown-ups? Jeez. There are fun water activities for grown-ups, including the Flow Rider Surf Simulator. This is one thing that I love about cruising because, if you want to do something like this on land, you're going to have to pay to go to a water park and then maybe even pay extra for time on the Flow Rider. On Royal Caribbean, it's included in the price of your cruise, just like the big water slides. You don't have to pay extra to go surfing or sliding, and you can go as many times as you want, as long as you're willing to wait in line. By the way, you can also get surf lessons and reserve private time, but that does cost extra. Also back by the water park is the all sports court, where you can play basketball, soccer or football, pickleball, and other organized activities, all included in the price of your cruise, just like the gigantic rock climbing wall. All of these things are not open 24 hours a day, so make sure you check the cruise planner before you head up if you're hoping to take part in one of these activities. And then there's this thing called the Sky Pad. It was originally home to a kind of trampoline park, and that has since disappeared. The area is now used for activities like ladder ball and cornhole, but can anybody tell me more about what this was originally like and why did they change it? What happened? There is one more thing I saw back here that I wanted to show you, and that is a subscribe button. Before we go down into the inside of the ship, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really helps me out, and I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers in 2024. That would be so great, and I would be really happy if you could help. And now let's go down below. If you have been on any other of the larger Royal Caribbean ships, you know, I'm terrible with numbers, but I think probably about 80% of all Royal Caribbean ships have the space that I'm about to show you on board. It's that big long passageway down here called the Royal Promenade. You probably don't need me to tell you that that's where the Sorrento's Pizza restaurant is, that's included in the price of the cruise. That's where the Promenade Cafe is, that's included in the price of the cruise. And there are other shops and venues that are always in the Royal Promenade on all Royal Caribbean ships. We're gonna take a look at it anyway. I don't know, I get to the point where I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over, but I still wanna show you around. From this vantage point, I can actually see all the way down to deck 3. So the lowest thing you can see down there is the art gallery. That's deck 3. Then comes deck 4, which we're also going to walk through, and then the Royal Promenade is deck 5, and then that's deck 6, 7, 8. So if you were maybe interested in doing a promenade view cabin, which is an inside cabin with a window looking into this space, promenade is 5, and then it goes 6, 7, 8. So you can kind of get an idea of what you're going to be looking at and how high you are going to be from all of that. One thing I wanted to show you is at the elevators in the back of the ship, the aft of the ship. If you walk past them, there's like these secret balconies here overlooking the Royal Promenade, and there's a great big dog down there. Here's another look at the Royal Promenade and everything happening down there right now. They do have dance parties in here. They have other special events, parades, and these secret balconies can be a great place to watch it if you don't want to like be right down in the action. Can recommend coming up here. By the way, check this out. Piano player in the elevator. It's kind of a cool Easter egg that they don't do all the time, and if you do run into the piano player in the elevator, it's kind of like good luck charm. At least to me, it seems so rare. You know how many cruises I've been on, and I have only seen this twice. So I guess I can count myself doubly lucky. Let me know if you've ever seen a piano player in the elevator on Royal Caribbean, or if you've seen that on another cruise line. Let me know in the comments. Like on all Royal Caribbean ships, the Independence also has a large, beautiful theater. We really enjoyed the shows that we saw on the ship, especially Grease, and if you like live entertainment, I recommend going to see them all. Drinks are allowed in the theater, so get there early, grab a good seat, and have a good time. Down on deck 3, in addition to the art gallery, you'll find Studio B, which is home to the ice skating shows that are also really fun to watch. And I mean, where else can you see a Broadway-style musical on one night and then a show like The Icecapades on the next night and not have to pay extra for it? Give this video a thumbs up if you remember The Icecapades. Studio B is also used as a club sometimes, and on our cruise was home to the hilarious and totally over-the-top game show called The Quest. We sat way in the back and did not participate. That's not going to happen again. I would also like to personally invite you, if you write me in advance before you board the ship and you would like to, I may give you permission to sit in my car. It's here in the Royal Promenade. I'm letting Royal Caribbean use it, and yeah, just let me know in advance and I'll give you a permission slip. I just snuck into the main dining room here between lunch and dinner service, and I have to say, I am much more of a fan of like modern design styles that look a little bit sleeker and maybe even futuristic. And the main dining room here is very traditional, sort of old school, very Cunard, Titanic-like. And even though I prefer the modern styles, this is pretty spectacular. I mean, would you like to be dressed up sitting at one of these tables right now, chomping on some sirloin beef or maybe some vegetarian pasta? I will be in just a couple of hours. I'm back down in the cabin now, and we're not done yet. There's a couple of questions I want to ask you, some things I want to discuss, but of course there are many other bars and venues on board, from the Crown Lounge up in this UFO structure at the top of the ship, Bolero's bar, the Schooner bar, many other places, and I didn't take the time to go through and really show you every single inch of the ship, but hey, when you get on board, you'll have some things to discover for yourself. But what I want to ask you is, if you are somebody who cruises often, or maybe is planning to cruise often, what do you think about this trend of Royal Caribbean kind of unifying their ship design to make many of them have all of the same features in the same colors and sort of looking the same way? I think, just to go through it quickly in my head, one advantage is, of course, when you cruise on a new ship, or a ship that's new for you, it won't take you as long to get your bearings because you kind of know where everything is from the last Royal Caribbean ship you've been on, and you don't have to ask yourself, what do they serve down there, or what do they serve in that restaurant? Because if you've been on Royal Caribbean, you already know. But does it also make it sort of less appealing to cruise with the same cruise line? Because, how can I say this? Because you know, it doesn't matter what ship from Royal Caribbean we go on, unless it's a Quantum class, they're basically gonna have all the same things, and then all the Quantum classes have most of the same things too, and then the North Star, like, observation platform and the iFly skydiving simulator at the back. The Oasis classes are also a class on their own, with the Aqua Theater in the back and the Central Park area, but they also have a Royal Promenade with the Sorrentos and with a Schooner bar and with a Promenade Cafe. And I guess I'm worried that I'll get to the point where I feel like I don't need to cruise with Royal Caribbean anymore, because nothing is like especially new that's appealing to me. And I feel like for me, that's going to motivate me to try other cruise lines just to feel like I can explore and see something new. And that's what I wanted to ask you. How do you feel about this trend? Let me know in the comments, and please make sure you subscribe before you go if you haven't subscribed already. All right, I'm gonna let my sister back in from the balcony, who's been patiently waiting for me to finish filming this video. I'm coming. And then we are gonna enjoy the rest of our day here on board, including going to the upcharge restaurant, Giovanni's. If you've watched my videos, you know going to an upcharge restaurant is something that very rarely happens for me. Specialty restaurants are just something I don't feel like I need to spend money on a cruise ship, because usually the food is excellent in the buffet or excellent in the main dining room. It's been a little different on this cruise, to be honest, and you'll hear me talk more about that in other videos from this series. But so we got a little bit of a discount on Giovanni's, and we're gonna go check it out tonight, and I'm sure I'll be making a video about that or posting photos of it on Instagram, which is Mr. Morgan O'Brien, or on Facebook, which is Very Unofficial Travel Guides, so you can look forward to those as well. Thanks for spending this part of your day with me, and I hope to see you back here soon. Bye-bye.